Hi there, this is Liz from Augusta. I'm the operations manager and the facilitator of communication at our brick and mortar location here in Bellingham, Washington. And today I have with us our estimator, Lee Park, and I want you to meet him. And as usual, I'm always concerned about those that might be wanting to start a franchise and the reservations you might have. And I always want to ask the questions that you might be thinking of. And so Lee has been with us for how long now?
2.5 years now.
Yeah. 2.5 years. And when he started, did you have any lawn care experience?
I worked at a park, as a park ranger. So I drove zero turns and used weed eaters, but that was it. Like nothing beyond that, not professional, very base level stuff.
Okay, so when he came to us, he didn't have a lot of experience, but what he did have was a really good attitude, and he was a great team player. And it was actually in October, and we had thought, well, we don't really need anyone. But then Mike and I were talking, and we thought, this person is too good to pass up. And Lee has been a great partner with us, so we've been able to move, as I've told you before, Mike completely out of the day-to-day. That was our goal for 2019. So Mike and Lee did estimates together. After Lee had worked in the field, then he kind of knew the ropes of the field, and then he and Mike did estimates together. And now we completely have Mike out of the picture, and Lee and I are doing what Mike and I used to do so that Mike can be out focusing on you and selling franchises. So I'm just going to ask Lee a little bit, with you in mind, a couple questions. So as you've been here at Augusta and you go out on estimates and things, have you found it difficult to learn the estimate process?
That was actually one of the nicest things about stepping in an estimator role, was that the process was very seamless because of the way our job notes are set up from the office. So when I was just a field worker or project manager, I would get my notes from Liz, and I didn't realize when I first started here that those notes she was sending me were the notes that Mike actually originally typed up after he spoke with the client. So the system actually is so streamlined, and it made it really easy for me to realize, oh, I just have to build the job in my head while talking to the client, and then just translate that into simple terms for the guys to understand. So the system of actually putting an estimate together was so streamlined, it made sense for me to go from a base level field worker knowledge to then just bump up to that estimator knowledge. And there's obviously quirks with everything, but the system in the background was so easy to learn and so quick to get my hands on that it made a lot of sense.
And did you have like the Service Autopilot app on your phone that was integrated with the office?
Yeah, so that was one of the nicest things, and one of the most streamlined portions is that when I type my notes into that Service Autopilot app that we use at Augusta, basically what happens is instantaneously Liz will get those notes, or now Command Center will get those notes, and then if there are errors, if there are flaws, or if the customer wants to change something, there's just these instantaneous little reactions that happened. So I was already used to using Service Autopilot as a field worker, putting in notes, telling the office, hey, this person likes a lawn cut shorter, this or that. But now using it on an estimate, I was already familiar, and it just made it that much faster, that much easier.
So if you were a solo guy and were out mowing lawns by yourself, and you really just knew the whole lawn mowing process, but you were kind of wanting to learn the business side of the process, do you feel like if you had somebody to teach you the whole business side after you learned the field part, that would be something you could do, is move into something, owning your own small business on a small scale?
Yeah, easily. I think part of just how I was raised, I was raised in a family that was pull yourself up by your bootstraps, work hard. And so I came to Augusta originally with just the intentions of working hard and having a job to pay the bills, but then having the opportunity to grow and move with the company and learn about business. One thing I love is just open book management that we do, which allowed me, someone who is willing to work hard, whether I know the numbers or not, whether I know the business model or not. It's something that always interests me. So having open book management was incentive for me to want to work harder and see the numbers, see how me as an individual employee can impact those numbers, was really big for me. So then slowly over time, being here 2.5 years, I've learned a lot about, our P&L and how the business operates, all those, extra overhead expenses you don't think when you're sitting in a truck. If I were by myself, it would be almost impossible to realize all that stuff. Right. But the systems that we have in place made it so much easier to understand it and to grasp it physically.
Yeah. So as you've worked with Mike and gotten to know Mike more and been on a more intimate day-to-day, you were for a while, to learn the whole process, do you feel like if you were a franchisee, thinking of you now, would that be something that you feel like you'd have confidence in him? Because it's basically like a marriage. You're like signing a contract for 10 years. Do you feel like he's somebody that would stick with you through the process and the kind of culture that's at Augusta, like they'd be there for you?
Definitely, yeah. With Mike, kind of being out of the day-to-day, as Liz said at the beginning of the video, it was intimidating for me to take that on my shoulders, but whenever I felt overwhelmed or had a couple big bids, I would send them to him, and within minutes he would get back to me. Now I know, we've grown a lot bigger. I think we're 18 locations now, so he might not get back to everyone within minutes, but he still is always willing to help teach and lead his people and the people of the company, and that what just gave me even more confidence in my estimates, and just to know that he would double check me. Like there's one for a city we do, one of the city planners, we have a really good relationship with him. His name's Alex. I did a really big bid for him when I first took over estimating by myself, and I was really scared, honestly.
Yeah.
And I texted Mike, he was like, no, I think it looks good. I think Alex might like it this way a little bit better, but this is how we should do it, and the system that you've put it in, the way you've set it up is exactly the way it needs to be. Just little tweaks here and there. So I've trusted him in the whole process, and he's really allowed me to kind of manipulate it and do it the way that's comfortable for me, but also still being within the bounds of the system that's tried and true.
Right. So if you had a franchise, you could feel like you could still run your own business. Somebody's not controlling you, but they're helping you by giving you guidelines.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you could still grow as much as you want and sell how you want. They're
right.
just doing all the background for you.
Yeah, 100%. So all of the systems, everything that's in the background, all the automations, everything in Service Autopilot makes it so simple for me to then go and handle the clients the way I want to, bid the jobs the way I want to, and accept and push off clients that I don't want, but still have a frame behind me to work with that's so simple and so easy. So I can adapt the company, the business how I want within the models that are given, and it just makes it so much more streamlined.
Right.
So, yeah.
So if you want to click on the links below, we've been in this process for several years, but if you watch all of Mike's podcast and all the information, really by the time you would want to have a phone call with Mike to learn more about a franchise, you would feel very informed, and you would actually feel like you knew all of us and our team and kind of how we ran. If you feel like you would fit in this kind of environment, and that's the kind of support you need, like you've done all the hard work out in the field, but you just need a little help to go to the next step and really grow your business big with some behind the scenes knowledge and a lot of support. That's what we're here for. And so feel free to email me and connect with us, and just immerse yourself in all the content, and let me know if there's any topics that you want discussed here, any of the team, like the field team, or anything you'd like us to ask questions to. I want you to feel like you have every question covered, and then when you talk to Mike, you'd be able to just move right to the next process. It's no pressure when you speak to him. He's very open and transparent like we are. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and we look forward to connecting with you. Thank you so much, Lee, for being here with me today.
Thank you.